welcome. I'm glad to see so many of you here. I hope I didn't scare you guys away too much last week with all the painful foot stuff. We're going to be working on the foot again today, but not as well, in my opinion, not as painful as last week. So you're going to need something that resembles a ball, or you can use a can of beans or something like that, something that has got like a bit of a round surface. Tennis ball, myofascial release ball, a can of beans, anything that rolls. And then I've got a resistance band, so one of these things. If you don't have one of these at home, then you could use a towel. Obviously, the towel doesn't usually stretch. It's not a train smash if you don't have a stretchy thing, because you won't be using the stretchiness of it too much. Just for today, take as many breaks as you need. It's always nice having a wall nearby as well, just in case your balance feels a little bit precarious in the beginning. So luckily I've always got the wall next to me. And other than that, I think we're pretty much good to go. So we're going to be standing up for the first little bit. I'm going to face my profile towards you. My head's probably going to be chopped off a little bit, but just because I want you to be able to see the feet later on. We're going to come into a little bit of a lazy lunge. So I don't want you to go into like your most maximum athletic lunge position here, because we're going to be here for a little while, okay? So as you come into this lunge position, I've got my right foot in front. You can put your left foot in front, doesn't matter, okay? We're going to gently bend down into that front knee, just so that the knee is kind of tracking in the direction of the second toe. And my heel of my back foot is lifted. So the heel of my back foot is lifted, and I'm going to press back into that back heel. So with the back foot, you've got two options. You could be in a stiletto with the back heel really high up, that's fine. Or you could be pressing back through the heel. Okay, I kind of like that option a little bit more. So through the front foot, you want big toe contact, pinky toe contact, heel contact through that front foot. Back foot, just make sure that you can feel your pinky toe and you can feel your big toe. Okay? Cool. So even with that, just focusing on the feet, you might notice your balance goes a little bit funny, especially when you get pinky toe contact. Lengthen through the tailbone as you usually would in a lunge. Close down through the rib cage and then reach your arms forward. Okay? Nice. So from your kind of lazy lunge position, keep your pelvis pointing forwards. You're going to open into rotation. You're going to turn open to your left. Okay, so rotating through the left. Don't let the lower body change. Okay, and then bring yourself back to center. We're going to go over to the other side, rotate to the right. So just make sure there that you're muted if you're not muted yet. And we're just going to keep rotating from side to side. Very nice. So I want you to notice as you rotate, how far are you getting in that rotation? Okay, so how far are your ribs actually able to move from side to side? Go for 2. And last one. Bring it back to center and give yourself a little hug. So we're getting rid of the arms from the equation now. So give yourself a hug, wrapping the hands to the shoulders, and we're going to try and rotate again. So rotate to the left. Okay, it might be frustrating because you might feel like, oh, I'm going nowhere. But that's okay. And then rotate to the right. And rotate to your left. Good, and rotate to your right. Just making a mental note of where you're ending up in that rotation. Bring it back to center. Big step forward with your back foot and just shake it out. Okay, now we're going to come back into that exact same position. But before we do, we're going to do something with the back foot in that lunge. So we're going to come back into the lunge. You can watch me for a second first. We're going to come back into the lunge. I'll actually show you from here. So we're going to come back into the lunge. See my back foot? I'm going to ask you guys to push your heel in the way and then I'm going to ask you to push or to rotate your heel out the way. So essentially we're going to be manipulating the back foot position in a lunge. Okay? So come back into your lazy lunge. Don't go too deep here. Alright, because you're going to be here for a while again. Come back to your lunge. Pinky toe contact with the back foot, big toe contact, and press back through the heel. Now, from this position, keep everything else the same, but you're going to try and roll your foot in. So the heel of your back foot is going to roll in the way. Your pinky toe will probably lift off the floor. Good. We're going to hold this here for about 20 seconds. So I almost want you to feel a stretch on the inside of the back foot. Ooh. You might feel a little bit wobbly. So roll that back foot in. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your back foot back to center, and then you're going to roll your foot out the way. It's not a position you'd usually bring your ankle into. It's almost like you're trying to crush your pinky toe. Really stretch that outside edge. Your front leg's probably dying. 5, extra bonus. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to center and step forward. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Last time in this position, take that left foot back again. So we're back in our lunge. Come down into that front knee a little deeper, lengthen through the tailbone, give yourself a hug. Alright, now just remember where your rotation was when you began, and rotate over to your right again and see if you're getting a little bit deeper into your rotation. I know I am. Bring it back through center, rotate to the other side. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that by opening up the foot, you can sometimes access more rotation through the rest of your body. Okay? We rotate from side to side. Last time. Bring it back to center and step it forward. Okay, I'm hoping you guys also got some extra rotation there. Let's take it straight over to the other side. So right foot back. Tuck through the tail. Give yourself a hug straight away. Make a mental note of your rotation now with the right foot back behind. So we rotate over, let's say to the left. Bring it back through center. Rotate to the right. Bring it back through center. Rotate to the left. Good. Bring it back through center. Last time, rotate to the right. Bring it back to center. Just hold this position here. Think about your back foot now. You're going to push the heel of the back foot in. So let the heel roll in. You'll almost feel like you're crunching down on that big toe. It's not something I'd ever usually say, is to crunch your big toe. But let that heel side really drip in. Keep scissoring your inner thighs towards one another. So my legs are trying to draw in towards the midline. Okay? Keep letting that heel draw in. 3, 2, 1. Bring your back foot back to center and then let it roll to the pinky toe edge. Okay, so your heel, your pinky toe is now kind of being squished. Press it down. Can be a scary place to go if you have an ankle instability. So, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your back foot back to center. If you can, we go straight back into those rotations. Tuck through the tail, rotate. You might be getting a few millimeters extra here. I'm hoping so. Bring it back. Rotate the opposite way. Bring it back. and rotate. Bring it back and rotate. Bring it back. Well done. Big step forward through that back foot and shake it out. Okay, well done. So I just need to get my notes. They're on the table. So, still standing, we're going to balance. I'll face forward for this one. We're going to balance on our right foot. Okay? So, all 5 toes pressing down. Find your center through the foot. So what I mean by that is I'm not completely in my heels. I'm not completely in my toes. I'm perfectly through center. Now I was speaking to a friend of mine who's a ballet dancer, and she said to achieve that, you need to tuck, squeeze your booty, activate through the back line, but also push down into the floor. So push your foot into the ground, squeeze your butt, and squeeze your kneecap up. So the leg is like a piece of steel. And then you're going to lift your opposite foot off of the ground. Okay? Perfect. Hang out here for me. Find that balance. Great job. All right, now we're going to play around with this. If you lose your balance, don't fret. Left leg is going to internally rotate. Take it back. Take it back. Take it back. And then bring it forward, bring it forward, bring it forward, and here we are. Okay? Kind of simple. Internally rotate, take it back, take it back, take it back, bring it forward, bring it forward, bring it forward, back through center. Go for 2 more. As you take the leg back, try not to let the ribs open. Okay? So keep that nice length through the lower back. Last time we're going to change. Okay? Internally rotate, take it back, take it back, take it back, and step your left foot down to the ground. So you have both feet on the floor, but your feet are crossed. My front foot is in front of the back foot, so they're not completely parallel. That's kind of impossible. Give yourself about a foot's distance between the 2 feet. Now tuck through the tail, squeeze your inner thighs together. I want you to try and really get a sense of opening and stretching through this hip. Very nice. Push that hip out to the side and see if you can side bend over to your right. I have got my big toes on the ground, both feet, big toes, pinky toes. Bring it back through center. Start to take your weight into that right leg again. Lift the back foot up. Come up, up, up. Internally rotate and back through center. Let's do that a couple more times. So internally rotate. Take it back, take it back, take it back. Step behind. Squeeze the inner thighs. All 10 toes on the floor. Push your hips forward. So don't let your bum move back the way. Push your hips forward. We need extension. And then come up and over. Side bend. All 10 toes. Think about the inside edges of your feet pressing into the earth. Close those ribs. Squeeze your bum. Bring it back. Come out of it. Take the weight into the front foot. Lift the back leg up, 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 internally rotate, and then take it down. Let's go for 1 more. Okay, come up, internally rotate. Hopefully the internal rotation is feeling a little looser. And step it back. All 10 toes on the mat. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Squeeze your butt. Push the pelvis forwards. Come up and over. Reach. Bring it back through center. Lift the back foot up off of the ground. Up, up, up. Internally rotate. And down. Let's go straight over to the other side. Okay? Cool. So first we're just going to balance. Lift the right foot up. Nice. Good job. We're going to do a couple of internal rotations before we step the foot down, okay? So it's going to be internal rotation. Open, open, open. Keep the ribs closed. Take it back. And then bring it forward. Try get the knee nice and high. Internally rotate. And back through center. Good. And internal rotation. Take it back, 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 back. Squeeze your bum. Lower back is long. Bam. 2 more of these. And so I'm just holding my center so that I don't let my ribs flare. They really love to help me with everything I do. All right, next time we're going to step the foot back behind. Lift up, internally rotate, take it back, take it back, take it back, and then step the foot down. Good. Both feet fully in contact with the mat. Now, the 2 sides might feel different. On this side, I've like got a mega TFL stretch on this side. This is the muscle that connects into your iliotibial band. Okay, so push your pelvis forward. All 10 toes on the ground. Squeeze your butt. And we're going away from the stretch. We're coming into the side bend here. Press the big toe mounds into the earth, both feet. Bring it back. Good. Take the weight up into the right leg, into the left leg. Come into internal rotation and then bring it back here. Okay, 2 more. Internally rotate. Take it up and back. Step. Bam. Big toes. Push down. Bum squeezes so that the pelvis can come forward. Think about pubic bone reaching forward. Come up, up, up. Side bend. Close the ribs. No back bend here. Bring it in. Step it onto the left foot. Come up. Internally rotate. And down. Last time. Bring it up. Internally rotate. Step it back, step it back, step it back. Big toes. Root down. Immediately squeeze the inner thighs. Push your pubic bone forward. Yo, I've got such a huge stretch on that right side there. Side bend. Root down through the inside arches of the feet. And bring it in. Take it up. Internally rotate. And down. Well done. I'd love to know how that felt for you, if you felt anything there, or if I'm just like an anomaly. Okay, so we're going to stay standing, guys. Grab a hold of your ball now, or your can of beans, whatever, and you're just going to take it underneath, doesn't matter which foot really. So I'll do it this way so you can see. I'm literally just going to be rolling from the big toe down along my medial longitudinal arch, so that's the inside arch of your foot, down towards the heel, okay? And then all the way back up. I mean, there's no specific way you should do this, right? Necessarily. But the inside arch of your foot that runs pretty much from your big toe towards your heel, that's kind of where there's a lot going on there, really. And it's a good place to give love to on a regular basis in terms of just myofascial release. So let's go up and down. Some people can handle quite a lot of pressure. So, I mean, if you're able for it, there's nothing stopping you from really pushing down your weight into that ball, okay? So if you don't have a ball, I'm assuming you've got a can of something, cans of beans or something like that. That's fine. If you do have a can, you might even be able to stand onto it. Okay, so let's go 2 more times down the middle, down the medial longitudinal arch, so this part of your foot. And then you're going to work towards the pinky toe edge, so the outside edge of your foot. Okay? Up and down. It's a strange thing to think about, when we think about the base of the feet and what's going on there, but there are so many muscle attachments in the bones at the base of the feet. So a lot of the discomfort you might be feeling, it's the same as massaging any muscle, really. Let's go for maybe 5 more seconds here. Make a mental note of anything that might feel really profound to you. You can keep working on it throughout the week. Good. Well done. Straight over to the other side. And just notice how your foot feels when you put it onto the mat. We've woken up quite a lot of nerves at the base of our feet when we do this. Okay. So literally straight over to the other side. Let's roll. So we're going along the medial longitudinal arch. So the inside, big toe down towards the heel. Going to go for about another, let's say, 45 seconds here. Some people believe that we should be doing this every day. Applying a little bit more pressure down into the foot if you could, so leaning into it, And then you can start to work your way towards the pinky toe side. Okay, so literally pinky toe edge down towards the heel. Again, so many muscles attaching on this pinky toe edge side. Surprisingly, you might find it quite tender. Whenever you're doing this kind of rolling movements, it's a better idea to go a little slower than too fast. 20 more seconds here. And last one. Could keep going at this for ages, right? You find all these little spots and you're like, oh my god, you need attention. All right, so place that foot down. We're coming back to the first foot that we were working on. So depending on the surface and depending on your comfort level, you might like to just keep on going with the rolling. But if you felt like you could get your heel onto the ground with your kind of, I guess people call it the ball of the foot on the ball. Okay, and then step into it so that your calf, the back of the leg that's on the ball, the foot that's on the ball, feels like a little bit of stretch. Okay, so just hang out here, and then depending on your mobility in your ankle, see if you can bend your knee. The stretch along the Achilles will get quite tight, depending on how tight your ankles are, and then straighten. Okay, and then bend. Watch the trajectory of the bend of the knee. So try not to let the knee cave inwards. The trajectory is still over the second toe. Okay? Hope this is making sense. Let's go for about 5 more. So as I bend, depending on my comfort level, I'm pressing down a little bit more weight into the foot that's on the ball. So we're mobilizing through our talocrural joint to I'm hearing some nice crunchy, clicky sounds. I don't know about you guys. Well done. Step off, shake it out. Just take a few kind of marches on your mat. Just notice the difference you might feel from side to side. And then just come over to the other foot. Same thing. So placing the ball of the foot on the ball. Ideally, the heel is on the ground. If you can't achieve this position, you can literally keep rolling the foot out on the ball. That's totally fine. Okay? Right. And then I'm going to try and step my other foot in front. My right ankle's got a little bit less mobility than my left. So this is probably going to look different on this side for me. Okay? And then you can slowly start, when you're ready, to bend. I'll see if you can. Yeah, I'm going to try and bend into my back knee and straighten. My ankle mobility on this side is not the best. And straighten. There's quite a lot of pressure coming down into the ball of the foot. That's okay. Going for about 15 more seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Slowly coming out of it. Shaky, shaky, shaky. Well done. Okay, guys, so we're going to take it down to the mat now. So you can get rid of your props for a bit, and we're going to lie on our back. So we're going to come into some bridge work, but we're still going to be focusing on our feet, okay? So good old-fashioned bridge position, lie on your back with your feet parallel hip width distance. So just make sure for me that your feet, your toes are pointing forward and your heels are pointing towards your sitting bones. Okay. All right. Find a nice neutral spine for me. So we're going to arch and tuck and arch and tuck. And then you're going to find your happy medium, your neutral spine. Stay right there. Zone in, tune into your feet. Push your pinky toes into the floor. Push your big toes into the floor. Yeah. That area of your foot that was just on the ball earlier, literally the last exercise you did when we were pushing the ball into the ball of our foot, push the ball of your feet down into the floor as well. Okay. Knees are pointing straight up towards the sky. Take an inhale, keep that foot contact. As you exhale, tuck through the tail, press down through the feet and lift up into your bridge. Okay, so stay up in your bridge, lengthen your tailbone to the space between your ankles. So what I mean by that is just imagine a laser beam from your tailbone going forwards. That laser beam should traject between your two ankles. Bring your knees a little bit closer together and notice that that's going to help you press down through the big toe edges of your feet. Press the pinky toes into the earth here. Relax the shoulders. Lengthen through the back of the neck and soften the ribs. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly come down, keeping that foot contact. Let's keep on going at your own pace now. Inhaling at the bottom to prepare. Exhaling to come up. At the top, take a pause. Check in with your feet. Press down through the big toe edges. Press down through the pinky toe edges. Press down through the ball. Press down through the heels. Relax the shoulders. Relax the ribs. And slowly come down. Two more. Inhaling at the bottom. Exhale. Bring yourself up. Pause at the top. Press down through all four corners of the feet. Slowly make your way down, keeping that foot contact super equal. Last time. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, come up. Press down through the big toes. Press down through the pinky toes. Press down through the ball. Press down through the heels. Slowly come down. Well done. Okay, now take a couple seconds, just let those knees windscreen wipe from side to side because you're about to spend quite a long time at the top of the bridge. So when we come up into the next exercise, into the next movement, I'm going to cue you through 4-foot positions. I think most of you have done this with me before. We're going to have the heels down and the toes up. We're going to have the toes down and the heels up. We're going to go to the pinky toe edge, and then we're going to go to the big toe edge. Watch how your knee positioning changes, especially when we go to the pinky toe and big toe edges. Okay? All right, bring the feet back to parallel hip width distance. Press down through the big toes, pinky toes, heels, ball. Inhale at the bottom. And when you're ready, let's come up into the bridge. We're going to be here for a while. As soon as you get to the top of the bridge, at least for me, I can feel that little sneak of my big toes wanting to lift away from the floor. So I need to remind myself to press down through the big toe edges. Now, once you've got that, listen carefully. Lift your heels off of the ground. Once your heels have lifted off of the ground, push down more through the big toe edges of the feet, so the big toes, the knuckly bits underneath the big toe, push down there. Okay, pinky toes are still on the mat, but we're pushing down through the big toes so we don't roll through the ankle. And then you're going to relax your glutes, and then you're going to squeeze them. You're going to relax them, you're going to squeeze them. Relax, but keep the lower back really long. So soften the ribs. Ribs are relaxing down towards the floor. Keep pressing down through the big toe edges, guys. 5, relax the glutes, squeeze them. 4, squeeze them. 3, do not lose that big toe contact. Don't lose the pinky toes, but keep that pressure down through the big toes. 2, and 1. Good. Now lower your heels, lift 10 toes. All 10 toes come off of the ground. Good. And relax your glutes and squeeze them. And relax and squeeze. And relax and squeeze. I want you to push those heels down into the floor and imagine those heels were pulling back towards your butt. Okay, so you're pulling down and towards your body through those heels. 5 and 4 and 3. You should be hating me around about now. We've still got quite a while to go. 2 and 1. Now put the feet down, put those toes down, and roll to the pinky toe edges of your feet. Your knees are going to go east and west. Let that happen. Okay, so release the glutes. As you squeeze them, pick the pelvis up to that maximum height and feel the openness through the front of the pelvis. And release the glutes. And squeeze. And release. And squeeze. Keep on going, and you should be like, why am I feeling my inner thighs? That's normal. And squeeze. Keep the lower back long. Keep the ribs relaxed. Squeeze. 4 to go. Squeeze. 3. Hold on for dear life. 2. Oh gosh. Last 1. Squeeze. You got one more position. Roll to the big toe edges. Let the knees go knock-kneed here. And release the glutes. And squeeze. And release. And squeeze. Your inner thighs should be lighting up like a Christmas tree. And squeeze. Go for 5. And squeeze. Lengthen the tail as you squeeze. 4. Lengthen. 3. Oh, and lengthen. 2. Press those big toes down, guys. And 1. And squeeze. And then take it down. Oh my God. Yay. All right, so whatever you feel like you need to do here, I'm going to go for a hug of the knees towards the chest. For you, it might feel better to straighten them. I'm hoping that through that exercise, you kind of realize that by moving to different portions of our feet, we activate different muscles up the chain into our hips. And that's the same whether we're standing, running, whatever, sitting or in a bridge. Foot positioning has a huge effect up the chain. All right, guys, we're going to roll it up. Let me just check my plan. All right, so we're coming back to a little bit more traditional physiotherapy kind of rehab for the ankles. So you're going to need your towel or your TheraBand for this one. Hopefully you can see my feet. All right, so I'm going to go quite far back so you can see my feet. Now, I'm going to take my band over both of my feet. So, can you see it? Yeah. Okay, so both of my feet are in the band. My knees are not going to be changing. My knees are not going to be doing anything. But my feet, with my heels on the ground, are going to be pulling away, pulling the band apart. And then I'm going to slowly bring it back in. It's kind of like a windscreen wiping motion. I'll do it once without the band so you can see what my feet are doing. That and in. I remember when we did this in class, a lot of us were like, huh? This is called eversion. Okay. So I'm really hoping this is working for you. If it's not, please let me know. But you're placing the band on the feet like that. Knees are not moving. So look at your knees, make sure that they're not compensating for you, and pull the band apart. Slowly bring it back in. Pull the band apart. Slowly bring it back in. Pull apart. Bring it back in. So I know that, like, we talk about pronation, supination in the feet. This particular movement here, eversion, tends to be pretty weak in a lot of us. And it's a combination movement in the ankle. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but let's go 5 more. And in. And 4. The more resistance, the better. And 3. And 2. And last one, pull and hold. Hold into that range. Okay, slowly for a count of 8, we're going to bring our feet together. Now watch how jumpy your foot is. Control it back in. Same pace for both feet. For 8, 7, 6, slow as a snail. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull and hold. Pull. Hold. Bring it back. 8, 7, super slow. 6. Watch how, for me, my one foot just wants to give up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last 2. And pull. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. I feel like my face goes really serious when I do this. It's just my concentration face. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Well done. Okay, get rid of the band and just place your feet flat on the ground. All right, now this is a little bit of a funny one. I want you to spread your toes super wide. So as if you were spreading your fingers super wide, try and do the same with your toes. All right, now see if you can lift up just your big toes. Just your big toes. This is when I wish I could see you guys, because it's always so fun. And down. Just the big toes. Up. And down. Again, just the big toes. We're going to go for 5, and down, and 4, and down, and 3, and down, and 2, and down. Last one, and up, and down. Now the other toes, toe 2, 3, 4, and 5. Keep the big toes down, lift 2, 3, 4, and 5, up, and down, up, and down, and up, and down. Let's go for 4 more, and up, and down. Last 3. You might notice your hands moving. That's super normal. In the place in our brain where we learn motor control for our feet is really close to the place in our brain where we learn motor control for our hands. So it's actually helpful to let your hands assist you. 2. Last time. And slowly down. Well done. All right, my friends. We're going to come into a position that we were in last week. Not your fave. But tuck those toes under, tuck the pinky toes, and find a position that you can handle. So you might just be here and kind of leaning your bum back with your hands still on the mat, feeling the stretch through the plantar fascia at the base of your feet. Or you might feel like, hey, this week I can get to this position, which is awesome if that's a possibility for you today. And we're just going to hold and breathe. Let's take 5 more breaths. As we noticed last week, the stretch can develop and it can be more uncomfortable as time goes on. Not like normal stretches that tend to ease off over time. Last breath. And then keep those toes tucked under. We're going to place our hands down and come into downward facing dog. Whoops, there we go. Up into down dog and pedal out through the heels. So pedally, pedally, pedally. Calf stretchy, stretchy, stretchy. For 10, 9, 8, 7. So we're going to repeat some of the downward facing dog movements that we did last week. 3, 2, and 1. Bring your feet to stillness. Generously bend through those knees. Okay? Let both feet, or heels rather, pivot to your left, so that your right foot is completely in contact with the mat. Okay? Now you'll probably notice here that your hands might need a bit of adjustment. Get that left arm feeling super solid. Bend deeply into both knees, especially that right knee. So you start to hopefully feel a bit of a stretch happening over the right ankle. Press down through that pinky toe edge of that right foot. Bend into the knee. You might be able to take your right hand away from the floor and play around with bending the knees, coming deep into that bend, root through the edge of that right foot, and straightening the knee. As we did this last week, we noticed it's probably the shoulder that's going to fatigue before the legs, but try your best to focus on the feet. 3, keep rooting down through the pinky toe edge. Last time. Bring it back, come through center, lower the knees down, and we're going to slowly come back into that foot stretch again. So just giving the wrists a break. Now if you wanted to take this up a little bit further, a little bit more, we just lost someone. This is the uncomfortable stuff. All right, so if you wanted to take it a little bit further, we're bringing our feet closer together. Okay, so you might even be able to get your big toes to touch and your heels to touch. Obviously, it makes life way more intense. We don't want too much pain over the big toe, okay? Taking 2 more breaths. Well done. Slowly come back up to downward facing dog. So hands on the mat, keep the toes tucked under, lift up and pedal out through the feet. Going for 3, 2, 1. Bring the feet to stillness, generously bend through the knees, pivot both heels over to your right. Adjust the right hand as needed. Bend super deeply into the left knee and the right. So you almost want to try and get your butt onto your heels. And feel that pinky toe edge of the left foot really root down. And slowly bend and straighten here. So, if you can take the left hand away from the ground, that's cool. Try and make it work for you. Maybe 5 more. And 3. And 2. And 1. Bring it up. Pivot back to downward facing dog and lower the knees down. Take a shell stretch. So untuck the toes. Big toes to touch, knees wide. Sit your bum back. You're welcome to take your hands towards your heels and just grab onto the base of the feet, onto those heels. Holding yourself here for about 3 more breaths. So once we're done here, we're going to take it back into 1 more downward facing dog, and then we're going to come into the calf crunch that we did last week. And if you do feel any discomfort at the back of your calves tomorrow, it'll probably be from that, just because it's a myofascial release. Alright, so without further ado, let's come up into downward facing dog one more time. So from the down dog, let's come up. The down dog is pretty much just for the setup of the stretch or for the myofascial release. I'm going to take my right leg and right foot and I'm going to hook it below the knee joint at the back of my left shin. Okay? And then I'm going to slowly bring my left knee down towards the mat. Okay? You can play around with keeping the toes of the left foot tucked. I'm going to go untucked. And then, guys, slowly navigate your butt back to the heels. Now, if your knee doesn't like this, just adjust that right leg as needed, okay, to come down into the position. You could always put a pillow behind your right knee to decrease that compression. So lean back into the calf crunch. Play around with the foot positioning. So if you're not feeling all that much at the top, you could move that right foot quite low down towards the heel of the left, and that might be way more profound for you. as you melt into this myofascial release, what I want you to try and focus on is relaxing that left Achilles tendon, that left calf muscle that you're pressing down into. So really let go, let go, let go. Let your right foot sink in. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly come out of the position. Depending on how you feel, you might just want to shake it out, really gentle shake. You might feel a rush of blood into the area. And then we're going to tuck our toes under, come up into your down dog, pedal it out, 5 little pedals. Hook that left foot behind the right, slowly come down onto the other side. Untuck the toes of the right foot. Whew, I feel like this is going to be rough. Come down. Come down. Navigating it. So I don't know if you've ever tried myofascial release for the calves on a foam roller. It's actually really hard to really get into the calves. This is my preferred way. Maybe preferred is the wrong word to use. Again, try your best to relax the back of that right foot or right calf. So release the resistance. Try and give in to the pressure of your left foot. Adjusting the position of the left foot as needed. So find that sweet spot for you. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then slowly come out of it. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Great job. All right, last movement for today. We're coming onto all fours. Actually, this is the one where I'm bringing my hands closer to my knees. Now, last week I was a little bit mean to you, and I showed you like this really full variation straight away with this top of the foot stretch. But for today, I want to show you the kind of easier version first. So I want to stretch the front of my feet. So I'm going to press down into the floor and I'm going to try and lift up my knees. And as I lift up my knees, I want to really press down through the top of my feet into the floor so that I get a sensation of stretch over the top of my shins. And then I'm going to slowly take it down. Okay, you will get core work here as well. Press the floor away, round into the spine, lift the knees. Yeah, try and keep the knees relatively close together. Think about bringing the insides of the ankles towards one another. Slowly down. Let's go for 3 more and push, lift. You might be able to lift all the way up. So with those toes untucked, you get quite a nice stretch over the front of the foot. And then slowly, slowly, slowly down. Last 2 and lift. And slowly down. Last time and lift. And slowly down. Sit your bum down and extend your legs out long in front of you. All right, you might need your back to the wall for this. Super, super simple. Let's lengthen up through the crown of our head. And we're just going to hinge forwards over those thighs. See if you can reach the toes, that's great. If not, just grab a hold of your shins. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring yourself all the way to lying down on your mat. I promise you this is where we're going to end. So I want to give you 2 choices here for this relaxation. Either you're going to keep your knees bent and your feet flat, so your knees bent, feet flat on the ground, or you're going to let the soles of your feet come together, so the base of your feet touch, all 10 toes touch, heels touch, and knees float out to the side. Just bringing your hands to your belly, relaxing through the shoulders, close down the eyes, and we're going to take 10 breaths together. Allowing each toe to meet its friend from the opposite side. As you breathe, try and let the knees really melt down towards the floor, relaxing the inner thighs. Breathing into your lower belly. Relaxing through the muscles in your face, your cheeks, and your jaw. Releasing any frustration that you may have towards your feet. Last 2 breaths. Slowly open up your eyes. Assist your legs back to center if they were in that butterfly position. Bring your feet to the mat and just let the knees windscreen wipe slowly from side to side for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Hug your forehead up towards your kneecaps, becoming a teeny little ball, and then roll yourself up into seated. Guys, that is another day of torture done for you. So let me know if are you guys okay?